Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, welcome to Leisure Gaming. I am Leisure, and today I'm bringing you a deck profile for Penguin Control. Before we get into the deck profile, I wanted to talk about the Penguin playstyle for a bit. These cards are a lot of fun, and yes, they're actual penguins and not the full Wanderies. They do control the field by sending cards back to the hand, and in combination with another penguin, those cards are then removed from play. You can definitely play first, which will allow you to set up a lot of your negates, or you can go second, which is probably the better way to go, which will then allow you to send cards back, remove them from play, and also set up your negates. So let's get right into it. First card we're running is one Gen X Controller. We have one Puny Penguin. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard after being flipped face up, target one penguin monster in your graveyard except Puny Penguin. Special summon that target in face up attack position or face down defense position. Next up are two Penguin Soldiers. You can run this at 3 if you prefer. You can target up to 2 monsters on the field, return those targets to the hand. Next we're running 3 Deep Sea Divas. When this card is normal summon, you can special summon one level 3 or lower Sea Serpent monster from your deck, so you'll special summon itself. Next we're running 2 Maxis. Next up are 2 Gen X Undying. When this card is normal summon, you can send one water monster from your deck to the graveyard, add one Gen X Controller from your deck to your hand. Next up are 2 Note Penguins. You can run this at 3 if you prefer. During either player's turn, when an effect of a penguin monster is activated, special summon this card from your graveyard. That is mandatory. You can only use this effect of Note Penguin once per turn. If a card would be returned from the field to the hand by the effect of a penguin card, banish it instead. Next we have 2 Ash Blossoms. We have 1 Glacial Beast Polar Penguin. You can definitely run this at 2. If this card is special summoned, you can target one monster your opponent controls, return it to the hand. If this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one card your opponent controls, return that to the hand. We're running 1 Destiny Hero Denier for the DPE package. If this card is normal or special summon, you can take one of your Destiny Hero monsters from your deck, graveyard, or that is banished and place it at the top of your deck. You can only use this effect of Destiny Hero Denier once per turn. If you have a Destiny Hero monster on the field or in your graveyard other than Destiny Hero Denier, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. We have 1 Penguin Ninja. You can definitely run this at 2 as well. You can target up to 2 spells or traps your opponent controls, return them to the hand. You can target 1 penguin monster you control, change it to face down defense position. You can only use this effect once per turn. We have 1 Penguin Cleric. I would definitely just run this at 1. I don't think anything more than 1 is necessary. If a penguin monster or monsters is sent from the monster zone to your graveyard by an opponent's card, even during the damage step, you can target one of them, discard this card, and if you do, special summon that monster in face down defense position. You can only use this effect of Penguin Cleric once per turn. You can target 1 penguin monster you control. It gains 600 attack until the end of the turn, and you gain 600 life. We have 1 Nightmare Penguin, also another card that you can run at 2. All face-up water monsters you control gain 200 attack. When this card is flipped face up, target 1 card your opponent controls and return that target to the hand. Next up is 1 Crystron Rosenix. You can target 1 face-up card you control. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except Machine Synchro monsters. Also destroy that card, and if you do, special summon 1 Crystron Tuner from your deck. You can banish this card from your graveyard and special summon 1 Crystron token, but it cannot be tributed. Next up are 2 The Great Emperor Penguin. You can definitely run this at 3. Me personally, I felt 3 was a bit bricky. You can tribute this card and special summon up to 2 penguin monsters from your deck except the Great Emperor Penguin. This is not a hard once per turn, so if you can bring this back from the graveyard, you can actually activate it again. Next up are 3 Penguin Squire, which I think is a mandatory 3 in my opinion. Cannot be used as a synchro material except for synchro summoning of water monsters. If a monster is set on your field, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can reduce its level by 1 or 2. You can then target 1 face down defense position monster you control and change it to face up defense position, and if you do, its effects are negated unless it is a penguin monster. Next up we have Destiny Hero Dasher, which is the other half of the DPE package. Going on to spells, we have 1 Raigeki, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Foolish Burial, and your 2 targets for Foolish Burial are going to either be the Crystron Rosinix, or the Note Penguin. We have 1 Fusion Destiny. Next up are 3 Royal Penguin's Garden, which is a mandatory 3. When this card is activated, you can add 1 Penguin card from your deck to your hand except Royal Penguin's Garden. Once per turn during your main phase, you can decrease the level of 1 Penguin monster in your hand or on the field by 1 level. Then discard 1 card. We have 1 Call by the Grave to stop opponent hand traps. Onto the traps, we have 2 Infinite Impermanents, 1 Solemn Judgment, and 1 Solemn Warning. Onto the extra deck, we have 1 Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. Next, we have 1 Crystron Quandax. Once per chain during your opponent's main or battle phase, you can immediately after this effect resolves, Synchro Summon 1 Synchro Monster using materials including this card you control. If the Synchro Summon card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target 1 Crystron monster in your graveyard except Synchro Monster and special summon it. 1 White Aura Dolphin. Once per turn, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Its attack becomes half its original attack until the end of this turn. If this card you control is destroyed by an opponent's card, which is by battle or by card effect, and sent to the graveyard, you can banish 1 other water monster from your graveyard and special summon this card, and if you do, it comes back as a tuner. Next up are 2 Penguin Braves. Your opponent cannot target face-down defense position monsters with card effects. If this card is Synchro Summoned, you can special summon 1 Penguin monster from your deck in face-down defense position, and when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can flip 1 face-down position water monster you control face-up. Next up is 1 White Aura Whale. When this card is Synchro Summoned, you can destroy all your opponent's attack position monsters. This card can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing damage. If this card you control is destroyed by an opponent's card, either by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can banish 1 water monster from your graveyard and special summon it, and if you do, it comes back as a tuner. Next up is 1 Adamancipator Risen Dragite. During your main phase, you can excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, and if you do, you can return cards your opponent controls to the hand up to the number of excavated rock monsters and place the excavated cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. When your opponent activates a spell or a trap card or effect while a water monster is in your graveyard, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. Next up is 1 Baron de Fleur, 1 Link Spider. Once per turn, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower normal monster from your hand. We have 1 Mistar Boy. All water monsters on the field gain 500 attack and defense. Also, fire monsters on the field lose 400 attack and defense. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target 1 water monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Next up is 1 Marine Cess Coral Anemone. You could definitely run this at 2 if you prefer. You could target 1 water monster with 1500 or less attack in your graveyard, special summon it to a zone this card points to. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except water monsters. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target 1 Marine Cess card in your graveyard except Marine Cess Coral Anemone and add it to your hand. Of course, we have the 1 Predaplant Verte Anaconda to help out with the DPE package. We have 1 Area the Water Charmer. You can target 1 water monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your zone that this card points to. If this Link Summon card is destroyed by battle or destroyed by an opponent's card effect while in its monster zone, you can add 1 water monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck to your hand. This is a great card, especially since now that we have all the new Ice Jade, Sharks, and Marine Cess cards being played. We have 1 Nightmare Unicorn, and then we have 1 Access Code Talker. So everyone, if you're looking for a more meta-friendly Penguin control deck, this is probably the build that you're going to be looking for. As you can see, we got rid of the 3 Deep Sea Divas, we don't have the Gen X, we don't have the Crystron, but we did add the Adventure Package. We added also an additional Nightmare Penguin. So everyone, if you're looking for a more meta-friendly Penguin control deck, this is the build that you're going to be looking for. Of course, we had to drop the 3 Deep Sea Divas, but we added the Adventure Package. We also added an additional Nightmare Penguin and an additional Glacial Beast Polar Penguin for the main deck. For the extra deck, we got rid of the White Aura Dolphin, and we added the Totally Awesome Bahamut Shark. We got rid of the Mistar Boy and added the Link Karibo along with the Relinquished Anima. And instead of the Nightmare Unicorn, we added the Nightmare Phoenix. So that is the deck profile for the penguins. You have one that's more meta friendly, which is currently on screen, and then we have one that's a bit more penguin based, which was the one that we talked about earlier. So if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and leave in the comments below if you've played penguins or if you're going to play penguins. And I'll see you in the next video. Later.